So this is a recording of the virtual meeting of the Board of Library Trustees on May 5th, 2020. So if somebody wants to call it to order.
Tracy, I will.
Is Michael with us or is he not?
I'm here.
Yeah.
Oh, there you are.
Can everybody hear everything okay?
I can.
Okay. All right. So it looks like we have no public comments. And so communications.
Wait 1 second. We're not going to have either Carol or Suzanne with us?
No,
Okay.
No.
It's just us. Okay.
just us. Yep. Okay. So for communications, all of us have myself, the assistant director, and our young adult librarian have been working remotely. We have been doing a couple virtual programs here and there to try things out to see how things work. And we're just we're using our website and our Facebook page as the best means to kind of get in touch with everyone. You know, we've kind of taken the time to, you know, I mean, we're deemed non-essential, so, you know, but we wanted to especially try to find a way, you know, what role can we fill during this time? You know, how can we, you know, how can we help out the community even though we're not there? So we've been doing programs, educational posts, fun posts. We put together a kind of a community resource guide on our website that kind of accumulates all the different things that people might be looking for in one place. So like, you know, food pantry info about the senior center meals, things like that. And myself and Paul for a little while, I'm still doing it. He's not able to do it anymore, but we've been delivering meals through the senior center because they were looking for somebody to deliver. So we've been doing that as well. Just kind of anything we can do to fill a hole to kind of help out during this time.
Nice.
So it sounds short and sweet, but we've actually been really busy, you know, trying to figure out what we're doing for the summer or what we're doing with everything. So yeah, we're trying to get there. Oh, looks like Suzanne is Suzanne coming in? She may be.
She's in the waiting room, according to my
I see her. Yep, I'm clicking admit, trying to get her in there. Where's Suzanne? There we go.
Yay.
Hey, Suzanne. Can you hear us? Suzanne, are you there?
I'm here. No
Okay. No, that's okay. That's okay. It's right. I keep looking at myself as I'm talking, and I don't like it, so it's a little distracting.
Josie.
But
Josie. Come here.
I thought she was telling me to shut up. Okay. Yeah. So basically, Suzanne, what I was saying was I was just kind of giving everyone an update about what we've been doing since we've been closed. The good news is that all staff are being compensated for the time, you know, that they normally would be paid, which is fantastic and very generous of the town. So we're just trying to make sure that we're doing as much as we can to keep people involved. You know, I mean, we're not emergency services. We're not those essential people out there, but we're kind of there to cheer people up in a way. So yeah.
Essential services. Didn't you read my article that I sent you?
Not yet. I've got a backlog of email I'm working through.
It says libraries are essential services.
Yeah, but we've been trying to just to fill any holes that we can with our resource guide, our programs, and then just trying to plan ahead as much as possible when we still don't even know what's really going to happen. So that's basically it for communications. Most of what else I have to talk about I have later on the agenda. Did everyone get the March minutes that I sent?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So if there are no corrections, it sounds like you guys will need to every vote, what Doug said, every do a roll call vote to approve them.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Third.
Okay. I got Suzanne. Who seconded?
Tammy.
Tammy,
so
okay.
Let's try to do it. So if you motion, say your name afterwards, and then if you second, say your name too, so that way Maria can keep it down and everything.
Tracy approved. Oh,
So do we have a unanimous vote to accept?
Yes.
Sounds like
Yes.
Suzanne.
Tammy says aye.
it. Oh,
Okay, thank you.
I think there was a bark in there too from something.
Yeah.
That was Josie. I'm sorry. She's gone crazy.
And then I also sent everybody the March and April statistics
Josie.
from this month. So our March and April statistics are looking a little sad, but I mean, but March we had quite a few reference questions. We were very busy in that aspect. Before we closed, we did about a week of curbside pickup, and that was very busy, and that worked pretty well. So so we did that, and if you notice, there's in April I think there's like 200 circulations.
How did you do that?
Because excuse me, I've been working with the activities director at the American Inn, and we had the pop-up libraries there before, and she and I were both very concerned that those people are going to feel so isolated during this time. So we did, I've been dropping off materials with them each time, checking in with the Board of Health director to make sure that it's okay. And if she says no, then I won't do it. But as long as she says that it's fine, then we've just been dropping things off. And, of course, cleaning them as they go out, cleaning them as they come in. One way to look at it is we've been closed since the middle of March. So anything on our shelves hasn't been touched in a long time. So
That's really great, though.
We get an update here every Friday, and so far there are no cases of COVID-19.
that's great. That's great.
Which is good.
That's good. Yeah, fingers crossed that it stays that way. Yeah.
Exactly.
So that kind of explains those circulations there.
Now, can somebody tell me how to turn the camera on?
Yes.
Is there a quick way?
If you move your mouse to the very bottom left of your screen, there should be a little icon that says Start Video.
Okay. Well, it says start.
Yep. Try there.
Yep. What? I don't see no start
yeah.
video.
Start video. If you move down, it'll appear. It doesn't automatically appear if your mouse isn't there, but if you move down to the bottom, oh, there's Michael. Michael got it.
Okay. Well, she's trying. Office, OneDrive, Paint, settings, Skype, Pips, video editor, video record, voice recorder.
No, if you as long as are you in the Zoom screen, it's in the very bottom left of the Zoom screen. There'll be a little bar that appears when you get to the bottom left there. And it'll say mute, start video.
Now I've lost you altogether.
So you see that you've got a black screen with all of our squares on it, right?
Yes, I'll just leave the
Okay.
audio. Next time we can do video.
Next time we'll figure it out.
Nice.
Let's see. I don't think I can.
Yeah, you
Oh,
can start.
I
with
can
video.
here. I'm sending you. I don't know how it's going to pop up, but I sent you something that says ask to start video. So I don't know what
thank
that'll
you,
do.
thank you. Yes, start my video.
Oh, there you
Here we go. Yay.
Hey.
Hey.
Okay. Okay. So any other? Hey.
Oh.
Mine are locked out. They've been really worked up because the neighbors are out hanging out by their pool, so it's just not a good combo.
No way
It's
to
too
let
loud in here.
Sometimes down, she's gonna bark.
So any other questions about the March or April statistics?
No,
No.
Jesse. This is why I don't bring her to meetings. Come on.
So as for the old business, the children's position update, we are in a hiring freeze, so I have been unable to hire anyone. At the time that happened, I had one more interview left to do. So I interviewed 3 candidates. I have one more interview to do left, and from the sounds of it, everybody is still interested. I've been kind of periodically checking in to let them know as the shutdown gets extended and extended. But we have a couple really good candidates that I'm pretty excited about, so I'm really hoping they stay interested. And yeah, I mean, they understand it's the same boat wherever they work. So it is what it is, but it's just, it's making things a little bit tricky because we're trying to plan for summer reading, and, we're short one person who does most of the major work on summer reading. So Heather, the young adult librarian, has been really good about helping out with that as well. And Paige, our other children's librarian. So we are trying to get that sorted out while we're short a person.
You are on Facebook a lot, and I commend you for that, because almost every day I get something on Facebook from.
Oh, good. So yeah, we're trying not to post we're trying not to post too much and really overwhelm people.
No, it's perfect.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Yeah. And other old business, the annual survey. We normally do it in April. Obviously, that didn't work out. I'm going to maybe do it hopefully shortly after we open. I kind of have to see how it goes, because I don't want to put too much work on our staff, and we don't want a lot of things going back and forth too. So it may be best to just kind of play it by ear and see what happens. I mean, it's gonna.
I recommend a soft opening.
What's that?
It sounds crazy. I recommend like a soft opening.
Yeah, that's
the
what
minimum
our plan is. Yeah.
You're going to have masks on, which, as you know, probably going to stores and everything, they're tiring in their own. You're going to have to be cleaning more.
Yeah.
So there's a lot involved. So I would keep it to the minimum.
Oh yeah.
In the beginning.
Yeah. So to move on to our next topic under new business is our reopening plan. I met with Tammy, the director of the Board of Health, back when we thought, May 4th could be our opening. That didn't happen. I'll meet with her again before we open. I'm going to be writing up a plan to give to her for her approval, and as well as, the select board, because, let's say May 18th, the stay-at-home advisory is lifted. There's no way we're going to be able to fully open to the public that day. It's impossible. It's not going to happen. So what I'm hoping to do is have all staff report back that day. And I think we're going to open as we close, So first we'll start with our book drop, because we have so many items out there that people are going to want to bring back. We're going to be so overwhelmed. We need to make sure that everything's cleaned and as best as possible. So I want to open our book drop first for a couple days, and then maybe ease our way back into curbside pickup. And that seemed to work pretty good.
I think you'll probably get a run on ordering books from other libraries.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, and I don't know how soon that delivery is going to start back up again. Yep. They're kind of waiting to see too. But yeah, so we're going to kind of open as we closed, and because there's no way we're, the first day that the advisory is lifted, that we're going to be able to kind of, I mean, we have to wait and see on the 18th what's going to happen, as far as I'm going to check in with Tammy and see what she recommends on limits for, how many people can come in at the time, and I'm also hoping to kind of institute, it sounds awful, but like a no lingering policy. Like if we have to limit the number of people in the building, I mean, if somebody needs to come in and work on unemployment or something, I completely understand that. But, it's not the time to come in and hang out and play video games. You come in, you get what you need, and you go home.
Mhm.
And that's what we're hoping to do. So we need to figure out how many people we can allow in based on our building capacity. And we'll need to move around because some of the staff work very closely on top of each other. We'll need to move some workstations around. We'll also need to move some of our public computers because those are definitely not 6 feet apart. So we may
Probably like
have
the one
to
in the
remove.
middle, or on the screen.
Yeah.
Probably the
So
one
we
in the
may have
middle
to
that's
remove.
not used.
Yeah, we may have to remove some stations altogether.
One of the other things you may have to do, are employees or the public going to have to wear masks? Will you be still cleaning surfaces and
Yes.
keyboards and
Yep.
that
Yep.
stuff will come from the Board of Health, but still need
Yes.
to be
Yeah.
aware
Yeah.
of.
We have supplies as far as gloves, as wipes. We've got a decent amount of supplies. I need to work out with the Board of Health. Where are like, can we? I mean, do we have the authority to police people if they want to come in without a mask? I mean,
I was just gonna bring
obviously,
that up.
yeah.
You
I mean,
you
obviously,
should, but it's gonna,
we
it
we
might
should.
create,
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
can get confrontative about that.
They can. They can. So that's another thing I'm going to need to work out with the Board of Health on what we can do.
And police.
Yeah. And so all the staff is going to be wearing masks and protective equipment. I've bought fabric masks for all the staff, but I told them they can wear whatever's comfortable for them. I mean, I just bought something so we have something because I was afraid that we weren't going to have anything. So at least we have enough for everyone. And then we'll just I'll firm up the details with the Board of Health on when items come back in, how long they want them held for. Before we were holding them for a week before we put them back out, but things have changed as the more we learn about the virus. So we'll figure out a kind of timeline for that as well. We're planning on using the community room for all of our quarantine materials because obviously we're not having any programs, so we are putting everything in there. We'll also put, we'll have to move some seating around so that it's 6 feet apart. And I also need to figure out with her too, how much we can police people for that too. I mean, if you see some people not 6 feet apart, do we have the authority to say, can we say you need to move, or can we just offer them a recommendation? What do we do? So
One of the good things you'll have when you first open is the schools aren't open, so you're not getting it 230 30 kids coming in.
I think we're going to end up with a lot of families though, so we may have to kind of do what Big Y is doing and say, please only one person per family come in, or one or two people. If it's a young child, obviously you can't leave them in the car by themselves, but it's not a family destination.
Car and go on Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a family destination. We don't want to have a hangout. We just want to have a nice slow opening. And the good news is that the maintenance department is working on they have it for all the other departments, so I asked for us to get them to have plexiglass windows for our checkouts, and for the reference desk by the computers and the kids' desks. So all of the main stations where people come into contact with patrons will have some type of barrier there.
Now, have you thought about reducing hours a little bit, just at least for the first couple weeks, to give you extra time to do the cleaning and put things away and that stuff?
Yeah, I think at least the first week, what we're going to do is kind of work the same hours that we did for the curbside pickup, where I asked all staff to kind of, we said staff is on the, available by phone from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. So everybody, let's work out our hours, let's make sure we're not all on top of each other. But if we spread out our hours between like 9 a.m. and 5 p.m., then everybody will be here. And then the week after that, I mean, as long as it's okay with you guys and we just play it by ear, I mean, we may be able to be open our normal hours. I don't know. I imagine we probably need to get approval by the select board if we were going to change our hours in any way, but, or
I
at least
agree with
shorten.
Tracy. Take it slow at
Yeah.
first.
That's
Yeah.
why I'm saying you may want to, consider doing, less hours in the first couple weeks until you see how things go.
Yeah. 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 I think, yeah, as long as, we'd make it fair to everybody. So we're not doing it, only
Trust me.
during the morning. So, anybody who's working, or we'll try to have enough of a balance between everything. So we're not.
Yeah. I wear a mask, and after you wear it for a good hour or so, you're tired.
Yeah.
It tires you out. It's hot, it's sweaty, and it's exhausting.
Yeah.
So just, you got to be aware. You can't be doing what you normally would do.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying,
Yep. Yep.
So
And
much of your decisions are going to have to be directed by the Board of Health.
quite a
You
few.
know,
Yeah.
we're going to have less say about all this than Tammy will.
Yeah,
frankly.
exactly. Yeah. So I'm gonna hopefully nail down a time to meet with her again and bring all of my questions to her and just get her guidance on the best way to open safely. And I think there's a few people who've expressed concerns, about coming back, and they're just nervous about, so we're gonna have to take it slow, like Tracy said, and I don't want to overwhelm anybody,
And if people
We're all
are
overwhelmed
nervous,
already.
there again, I think if they're at risk and they're nervous about coming back, the town should make exceptions for them to allow them to take a leave or whatever, especially if they're at a higher risk,
Yes.
because we're in a different world now.
Yep.
And that's something
Well,
you should definitely.
the other consideration, everybody doesn't have to be at the circ desk. So if one or two people want to work in the community room, processing, returning books and stuff,
Yep.
they could do that and have no public contact. Just wear a pair of gloves and.
Yeah. I mean,
Get in the
especially
books, that kind of
especially
stuff.
right away, there's a huge concern of, these materials have been in people's houses for months.
Right.
So we're going to have to be especially careful the first time around. And then, as another wave comes up, or who knows, we're going to have to, we'll just have to make it work. The curbside pickup worked really well at the beginning. But then we still found that there was a lot of person-to-person contact, because, we'd ask people to call when they're on their way. We'd put stuff outside so we didn't have to come into contact. People didn't. They forgot to call, or they wanted to, they came up to the door or wanted a card. So we need to be very strict about, if we're going to start doing that again, how we're going to do it, and just make sure that.
If you need some plastic bags when you're
Yeah.
giving them stuff, I can get you some plastic bags.
Oh, that would be great. Yeah, we do need some. I think we're pretty much all out. So yeah, that would be great.
Okay. Well, this says thank you for shopping or something.
Oh, that's fine. That works for me. Yeah, so I'm working on a plan that I'm going to give to Tammy, and then once Tammy looks it over, give it to the select board so they know what's going on, and then
Some of this stuff might even come out from, the state government, statewide policies for all libraries. So you might end up just having that created for you.
Yeah, I mean, and the trick is that the MBLC and the library associations, they've been giving recommendations, but they can't really give us any hard and fast, this is what to do and this is what not to do. So
yeah, they've been giving you samples from Michigan or from Alabama or Texas.
Yeah, but it all depends on the area. I mean, it's
right.
And the cases have been going up in Southwick. So, I mean, it's still not a lot, but so I'm going to look at those other examples, base ours on that, and then give it to Tammy and sit down with her and see what she says. And then we'll just take it slow. And I mean, we'll do the best we can do. We've got a decent amount of supplies for now. We're also in a spending freeze, so we are not able to order anything that's not essential. So that takes me to another part of our in new business, which I'll just talk about right now. The state aid changes. Because of everything that's going on, you know, our orders are backed up. I've had to place a stop order on all of our deliveries because I've been going in a couple times a week to get things done, but there's, you know, sometimes I don't want them to show up and I'm not there because that's, so I've got to stop order on all of our materials deliveries. But thankfully they changed the state aid to automatically approve everyone's mandatory purchasing requirements as of March. So we are all set for next year as far as that goes. The required number of hours to be open, they've waived that too because this is, you know, kind of an emergency. So we really don't have anything to worry about in that department. You know, they did not change the municipal appropriation requirement because they thought that would give town governments too much leverage to kind of sweep us under the rug. So they didn't change that, but and I feel like I haven't gotten any word that there's going to be cuts yet. But I know a lot of other libraries are experiencing cuts for this fiscal year and next fiscal year. So, but I haven't.
See, the town has $2.5 million in stabilization that they haven't needed in the last 12 or 15 years. So if there was ever a rainy day, now would be it.
Yep. Yeah, so I haven't gotten word. I don't know yet. I was talking to the accountant. She said, you know, the finance committee has to meet with everybody, and then we'll see what next year brings. She did ask me what our municipal appropriation requirement was for next year, so I don't know if that's a bad sign, but
no, that office always wants to know so they can give you $100 more than the minimum or something, just so they don't have to deal with Boston.
Yeah.
Because they've had in the past 1 or 2 years, and they said we never want to do that again.
Yeah. Yeah, so as far as state aid goes, we're okay on the mandatory purchasing. We're okay on the number of required open hours. Our numbers are not going, I mean, we were having such a good year too. We were doing so good with our circ and everything, and then it was, but
it's
it is
every
what it is.
library
Yeah.
in the state.
What was that?
Every library in the state's having the
yeah.
same problem.
Oh yeah, we're all in the same boat across the country. It's all the same thing.
I mean, I would make a guess in terms of the money coming from Boston next year. Maybe it'll be 2/3 of what we got this year.
Yeah.
It may not be what we got this year because they may need to spend the money in other areas.
Yeah. Yep. And on top of that, so since we are in a spending freeze and we can't order anything that's not essential, I'm still going ahead with the CW Mars network upgrades that we're already pretty involved in because I figure we're going to need it if we're going. I'm expecting, you know, anytime the economy takes a hit, we get really busy.
Right.
So I'm expecting that we're going to need the internet speed. So, and I was planning on using the state aid money for that anyway. And that's our money that we can do what we want with. So it shouldn't be an issue. So we're still going ahead with that at least. So we'll have a little bit better internet for everybody and no more Comcast. So it'll be a little bit more stable. So at least we'll have that going for us.
If you're getting the Comcast free,
yeah.
Let's say for public Wi-Fi or whatever.
Yes.
You know, don't cut it off, but just.
Yep. It'll just be kind of a backup.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that covers the state aid. Next, I have on here new business is done, or more new business. So that was the reopening. Summer reading, obviously, we are going to see what happens. Where I've asked Heather, the teen librarian's been planning a lot of her stuff, and I'm kind of base the adult summer reading and kids summer reading off that. I think we're anticipating doing most of it virtually. I mean, we're going to have, hard copy options for people who don't want to do it virtually. But, I mean, who knows if another wave comes through and we have to close again. At least we have something in place that we can use. And I've also asked them to kind of think about what they want to do as far as programmings for the summer. Again, I'm thinking we're still probably going to have to do a lot of it digitally. And I've postponed all of our major programs until the fall. We'll see what happens. I haven't.
You know about putting in the paperwork, little ones that are funded by like the cultural council or anything like that. Even though you may have to postpone dates till the fall or winter or whenever.
Yep. As of last week, everything's been handed in, so that should be all good. Opening day, we're not sure of. I mean, it all depends. If we can have it outside, but again, it depends on the number of people. I'm going to check in with Tammy about that too. As of right now, it's not looking too good for it. So, but I mean, it is what it is. Our numbers aren't going to be what they have been for a little while. So, but as long as we can keep some people happy, then.
No, I think you're doing a great job, Lynn, getting everything out to people. Everybody's been, commenting that I know, how good it's been, and,
Mhm.
and there's been a lot of different resources that people are using now rather than, I know I've been using Hoopla several times during this. So.
Yep. Yeah, and Hoopla too. I was with the spending freeze. I'm thinking we're gonna have to. It's been doing phenomenal. I mean, people have been using it like crazy. But I'm thinking I'm gonna see how this next month goes, and maybe we'll have to bump down the number of checkouts again because it's a pay by checkout, and we're using up our deposit. We're almost at the end, and if we can't pay anything, then I don't. So we're taking it day by day. And in addition to everything else, with the hiring freeze, I do not know if we will be able to hire a summer page, because it's usually right about now that Diane asks the select board to hire. So, I mean, yeah, there's going to be a point where it's too late to have it make sense. I mean, if we can start advertising in early to mid-June, maybe we can make it work. But I mean, if it gets into July and who knows, then there's going to be a point where it's too late, and so we are going to be without that extra help during the summer. I'm not sure how that's going to turn out. And I know we've had some great people as our summer pages, and they're really helpful, and so I think we're going to be, the way it's looking is we're going to be short another person for the summer. We're short a children's librarian now, and it doesn't look too hopeful for that position either. But and just the last thing that's been really on my mind is and I've been collecting plans from other libraries, just kind of like an emergency plan as far as staffing goes. If God forbid I'm sick and I can't get in there for 2 weeks or more, who knows, just to have some type of plan in place. If I'm sick and I can't get in there, if our assistant director's sick, and then, so who's next in charge? I'm going to write something up so we at least have a plan. If something were to happen to me, or as we work our way down the chain of command, if something happens to us, then we can have somebody in charge and, essentially step in and as the manager and keep things rolling. So I was going to have, myself, and obviously it's already in the assistant director's job description that they are the one in charge if the director is absent. But what if we're both absent?
Lynn, we addressed this a little bit in March meeting,
yes.
And there's in the minutes that you were going to talk to Paul about it. Did
yes.
he come up as third, or you have to talk to him?
He wanted to think about it, so I'm not sure if he wants that level of responsibility.
Okay.
So what I'm thinking of is having Heather Paparella, our young adult librarian. I'm going to talk with her and see if she'd kind of be the third man up. If myself and the assistant director, she's the other full-time person, so it would make sense to have her
Right. Of course.
Yeah.
in there. The thing that I was when it came to Paul is when we are open at night, and a lot of the times I'm there because there's a program or something. But if I'm not, who's in charge during the evening hours? I may just leave it up to the senior staff member, which would be Paul. So I need to check in with him again and see how he feels about it.
Okay.
But as far as a chain of command goes for managing the library, which I guess it's super important to have right now because any one of us could be knocked
Who
off
knows?
our feet any day. So if it is all right with you, I'm planning on and I'll eventually draft up some type of policy or something you guys can vote on. But at least for now, the plan is to have there's myself, if I'm not there, the assistant director, if we're both not there, the teen librarian as the chain of command. And since we're the three that are there the most, we have the most idea of what's going on and things like that. So that'll be kind of our plan going forward. I mean, hopefully none of us will get sick, but I mean, you never know. As soon as we start opening and taking things back in, I mean, there's no guarantee. We're going to be as safe as possible, but and even still, we'll need to come up with accommodations for staff who if they don't feel comfortable coming in. I completely get it, so I mean, and the Massachusetts Library Association sent out a statement yesterday or today that encouraged towns to, if staff can work remotely, to allow them to work remotely. So if we have a staff member who is uncomfortable about being in and they're able to, work remotely without causing a huge disruption in our day-to-day, then, I mean, I don't see a problem with that. So, it's something we'll need to figure out as we get closer to our opening date. And then I think that was it for me. But,
And I kept up with you this time.
oh, good. And Doug's got the recording, so if you forget, then. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there was any other questions anybody had, but that's kind of where we're at right now. I'm hoping May 18th will be a good soft opening date for us to at least have staff come back, but it's all subject to change depending on what happens.
We're flexible.
Yeah.
Right. So should we talk about a next meeting in June and plan on that also as a Zoom meeting?
Yeah, it'd probably be the best idea. Yeah. Just in case. I mean, I know there's not 10 of us, but our community room is probably going to be a germ hotspot. So
That's a
go in
possibility.
there.
It's either that or the parking lot.
We could go to the park. It's going to be June. As long as it doesn't rain, it'll be nice out.
It'll be warm enough to meet in the parking lot. Yeah.
We'll circle the cars and
Right.
open the car windows.
Oh boy. Yeah. So I mean, if you guys want to meet in the parking lot, I'm okay with that. But if you want to plan on Zoom, this seemed to work out pretty well once we got everybody situated. Then
I don't.
Yeah,
have
there's no mosquitoes here.
yeah, there you go.
I don't have a calendar in front of me, and I don't remember the date of the town election and town meetings, which are Tuesdays.
That's this month, or did it get pushed off?
Yeah, May.
No, the town meetings are in June. The town vote election is in June.
Elections are the 9th and the town meeting is the 16th.
Oh,
Okay,
So
so second Tuesday would be the 9th. So should we meet on the first Tuesday again?
That will be the second.
yeah, June 2nd. I guess that works good.
Is that okay?
That's fine with me.
Yep.
Works for me.
Okay with me?
Good.
Okay. So
Yeah.
if that's everything, if somebody wants to make a motion to adjourn and Remember to say your
Motion to
name for
adjourn.
Maria.
I second.
So Tammy made the motion and Tracy seconded. And
Okay.
vote unanimous?
Okay.